Hi everyone, it's Dawn Fisher, Morning Glory Needleworks. Welcome to my 76th FlossTube video. As always, I always have to say this because I do appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who subscribed, comments, likes my videos, watches them. I really appreciate it. I've got a couple new subscribers, so I'm really excited. Tell your friends. Yay! As always, links to the Morning Glory Needleworks Instagram page, Facebook page, Stitch of the Month page, which we have one for tonight or today. The Buy Me a Coffee bio link, that Morning Glory Needleworks Etsy shop. All of those are listed in the comments description section. And I also break my videos into chapters. So if you want to come back later and just watch the part about how to do the stitch of the month, or I'm going to be talking about an antique sampler tonight, any of that stuff, you can just jump right to that. So let's get started. So if you watched my last video, you know I was out of town teaching a class last week, way up in the frigid north, Massachusetts. It's really cold up there. I'm going to talk more about that in a minute, but also, if you watch my last video, you will know today is my birthday. Yay! It's a big scary one this time. I can't believe it. I had to get off the calculator a couple of times, but everybody I graduated with is the same age, so they're all saying they're this age. So for some reason, this birthday bothers me more than any of the other ones. I mean, anyway, like I said, I still can't believe that it's correct, but it is what it is. I'm feeling pretty good. I think I get around pretty good. I'm still doing good. I don't think I look my age, so we're going to go with that. I didn't do much for my birthday today, but I did go out for lunch with a friend a few days ago. We kind of did an early birthday luncheon celebration. We went to, it's called CD Roma's. It's an Italian restaurant. They have really good food. Jeffrey and I used to go there all the time because they had gluten-free stuff he could eat. So they sent me a $10 gift card for my birthday. So of course I had to go. I had a delicious lunch, which is huge. And I've already gotten 3 meals out of it, and I'm going to get one more out of it. Plus, I brought home the soup for lunch. So I've gotten a lot of meals out of that one lunch. And they have the best sangria. They make their own sangria, and it's just delicious. But other than that, I really haven't done much the last couple of weeks other than going to the retreat and putting together a lot of kits. So, because I had a class 2 weeks ago, so I was putting those kits together. And now I have a class in 2 weeks again, which is great. And so I have to put those kits together. Luckily, the Spool of Stitches, the kits go together really quick. So it's nice. I actually have everything printed and ready to go, and it's not even the night before I have to leave. So I'm doing pretty good here. I've been working on a few new designs. I've got one I'm going to show you tonight. That's a teaching piece, but that's kind of what's been going on right now. Just kind of busy with classes and sending out proposals. I sent out a bunch of proposals to teach at EGA National last year and some other or next year, 2026, EGA National 2026, which is in Orlando. So anyway, I've had a really, that's kind of what I've been doing, busy work. So on to the retreat that I went to. So like I said, last week I was in Massachusetts, which was really cold. The first day I got there was really bad. It was just rainy, freezing, icy stuff. But once I got there, the next day was a little overcast, and then the sun came out, and it was, I mean, it was cold. I'm from Florida. It was cold, and I don't have a winter coat. I have a hoodie and a jean jacket. That's my winter coat. And I did wear socks and long pants too. And I had another sweater with me also. And the building the retreat was in you have to walk from the building you're staying in. It's not very far, but when it's really, really cold, it's far. It's, I don't know, by the time you walk around the building and through the ice and stuff, it's about a block maybe, but when it's freezing, it's cold. But so when anyway, back to the retreat, or before actually before the retreat, when I was packing the last of the stuff, because I am a last minute kind of gal, a lot of stuff I don't pack until the night before. Um, so I pulled out my projector. I always keep it in a case, a travel case. And I pulled it out and the cord was not in there. The electrical cord to plug it in. The HDMI cord was in there that hooks it to my laptop, but no electrical cord. So that kind of freaked me out. So I was trying to figure that out, looking all over. I'm just afraid I left it at the last place I taught, which off the top of my head, I don't remember where that was, but I don't have a cord. So I had to make a quick decision because it was actually the night before I was supposed to leave. And I actually could have taught without the projector, but I liked it. You know how I demonstrate my stitches and use my PowerPoint. I really like to do that. So I checked on Amazon and I could order a new cord and hope that it actually worked with my projector, which is close to 20 years old. Or I could order a new projector, which I've been thinking about doing anyway. Like I said, my projectors, I don't remember exactly when I bought it, but it's pretty close to 20 years old. When I started teaching again and getting ready to teach, I bought this projector and it was very expensive at that time. I'm surprised it still works. It's traveled all over the country. Let me tell you, it's been to Seattle and Massachusetts and South and North and everywhere. So I'm surprised the bulb has not burned out, and I was surprised it still works. But I started checking projectors on Amazon, and they have little teeny ones now and all these things, but I'm a little leery about them. So I did a search on the ones that had the best reviews, the highest reviews. And I settled on a projector. It's about half the size and about a third the weight of my current projector, which, I mean, it's probably this big, this tall, this big. And it's not heavy, but it's not light. But the one I got's about this big. It's really nice. I was leery because they're very cheap now. So I kind of was scared it wasn't going to work the same. My old projector, like I said, I bought it a lot of years ago. And at that time, it was one of the lesser expensive ones. And it was between $500 and $600. So that's what they cost back then. And I was actually going to buy an extra light bulb for it because I travel so much with it. But when I asked about it, they said the bulbs alone are $300, and that was almost 20 years ago. So kind of made me nervous. I've heard some bad things about some of the new projectors, but that was a few years ago when I was looking. But the new projectors have LED lights now, so they're much cheaper. The bulbs are not, I mean, basically, I think if the bulbs burn out, you're done. You just buy a new one. So I got this projector. It was $79 plus tax. And of course, free delivery because I got it on Amazon. So I was worried, but I got it. I had it delivered next day by 7 a.m. So it was waiting outside my door when I got up at 7 a.m. It took me not real long, but a couple minutes to mess with it and get it to hooked up to well, it's easy to hook up. It's just to get it to do what I wanted to do, to bring up PowerPoint and show it and do the right screens and that kind of stuff. But once I got it set up, it's very easy. And now when I plug it in, it knows where to go, what to do. So I'm really, really impressed with this $79 projector, I brought it with me. The guy at the public house there in Sturbridge, Massachusetts, at the where we stayed, he helped me set it up. I mean, I could have set it up, but he got it all set up for me and focused and tilted right and all that. And it worked great. It did. I'm very, very, very happy with it. I'm impressed with how far projectors have come, in the last 20 years. It was very clear. Everybody was really impressed. They were really impressed that I was brave enough to order a projector the night before I was leaving. So, but that's how it goes sometimes. You just roll with the punches. So I'm very happy with that. The class went great. I taught the Spool of Stitches. It was the first time I was teaching it, but it went really well. There were no major glitches. I told you about my laptop problems. The laptop did shut down a couple of times during the class, but it rebooted right away and everybody was stitching away anyway. So it worked out fine. I did make a few changes. They had a couple of suggestions on the one of the stitches and a few other things, not much, just a couple of things. And so I've already gone in and made those few changes. And, some of them were, as I was teaching it, going, no, I need to do this a little bit different. And that's what you learn when you teach. And I always listen. I told them, let me know if you find any mistakes, if you see anything that needs to be changed, please let me know. And they did. And they were very nice. And it was a lot of fun. Everybody, I think, really enjoyed it. They seemed to. It was a very small class, so it's nice for a first time teaching. And we had this wonderful little room right in the front of the public house inn, and, windows to outside. And it had, I don't remember what year this building was built. It was like in the 1700s, I think. So there was a massive fireplace, no fire in it, and just the big wide wood floors. It was fabulous. So anyway, I taught more. I taught the first 2 days of the retreat. And then the last 3 days, I just sat and stitched and relaxed. Actually, I spent Wednesday. I taught on Monday and Tuesday, and I spent most of Wednesday writing proposals and getting them emailed out. That was my relaxation, was sending out a whole bunch of proposals for EGA National for next year. So please keep your fingers crossed that I get picked, because I would love to teach there. So the retreat is actually a 5-day retreat. This is unusual. It's a 5-day retreat, and I think you have to stay for a minimum of 2 days, but then you can stay for up to 5 days. And there was a few of us that stayed the whole 5 days, so it was fun. All your meals are provided. They're all included. The public house has their own bakery, so every morning you go down and pick out your breakfast. They have wonderful cinnamon pecan sticky buns, which everybody loves. And this year they actually had more items for the free breakfast. Along with coffee, they had croissants and muffins and donuts, all that naughty stuff. But they were all delicious. Everything I had was delicious. And then we had fabulous lunches and dinners, and it was really, really, the food is wonderful. So it was fun. I just, once I got my proposals done and sent out, then I could sit and relax and stitch. I think I'll show you in the next video what I was working on, the one on the blue, the High Tide by Rosewood Manor. And so I got quite a bit done on that. And we just had a good time. There was door prizes. There was wonderful food, just good times talking with friends. I did buy a few things. I try not to, but I had to, because I sold a few things. So I bought a few things, kind of break even, It's nice because Needlecraft World, Randy, she brings a lot of her shop in. So I like it when I can go look at the fabrics, because so I can see them in person. seeing them online is not the same as seeing them and touching them because that does make a big difference. So anyway, as with all the Stitchers Hideaway retreats I've ever been to, and I've been to a lot of them over the last over 20 years, it was just a lot of fun. It's always a lot of fun. This was the last one, for now anyway. It's kind of been put on hold. At least no more teaching and stuff. So it was kind of sad, but yet I'm glad I got to go. I'm glad I was selected to teach at this one. I've taught several times and for Stitcher's Hideaway when Sue Donnelly owned it, and now Jen Kane runs it, owns it, and runs it. So um, it was a wonderful retreat, other than a lot of snow and cold. But we were in a warm room, so I was good. Now, on to something else. I talked about this a little bit. I was going through boxes, surprise, all this stuff. So I found a sampler from my collection that I had reproduced. It's actually, I found the reproduction sampler. I have the original sampler in my collection. So the sampler, the reproduction was pretty much finished, but life happened, you know how that goes. And I put it down and never picked it back up. I mean, it was probably 99% done. Just one of those things. So anyway, this I found her, and I have this is Jeanette Dean. Her name is Jennet Dean, and she signed it Jeanette Dean's Sampler 1832. And I don't know if you can see, this is a wonderful sampler. Each letter, or every two letters of the alphabet, are different stitches. It's very unusual. There is, well, the first one's cross stitch, then like arrowhead. There's a four-sided stitch, a very unusual fan stitch letters. She was very creative. I guess you can see that. Very creative. So I previously charted it. So luckily, unfortunately, I had charted it with my old program, which I can't get into anymore because it's on my old laptop, which needs to be like wiped and redone, and I can't get the program anymore. But I did find my old chart with all my little handwritten notes about what was what colors were what stitches were to use, and just little notes like that. And I had also started writing the instructions. So I had the stitch diagrams done. So that worked out. You can see how I start my patterns. There's kind of nothing on there. And then as I'm stitching it, I'll write notes or type them in or write them or whatever. I usually work in Publisher now. But anyway, this is so anyway, I got her stitches. I got her all stitched. I had actually started, and I had to rechart her. This has been recharted in my new program, which I like a lot too. So I've already got her recharted, and this is all taped together. So it'll be 6 pages. The sampler or the chart is 6 pages. But anyway, I have decided to make her into a teaching piece. So the only thing I had to do, I took out the roof because the color was almost the same as the house. And I redid the roof, and I had to do the chimney because the chimney stitched over one. Well, I didn't have the chimney stitched. But anyway, that was like it. That was all I had to do for this. That's why I said life kind of got in the way. But I have actually submitted this already to EGA National for a 1-day class to learn all the different stitches that Jeanette did. There's also some stitches down in here and other little things up in here. So it was a lot of fun to stitch. This is done on 28 count, so it's not teeny. and I used DMC floss. So it should be just a fun 1 day class, learning all these wonderful stitches. She was very creative. Unfortunately, I tried to research Jeanette, but I don't have any other information other than her name, Jeanette, which is unusual the way it's spelled, Jennet. And I actually just saw somebody on Facebook post that they had a sampler that they just reproduced by a different Jeanette, different last name. But I tried to research and I found one Jeanette Dean, but she was born like in 1864 and this sampler was stitched in 1832. This may have been her grandmother. I don't know. I don't know where I got it from. I don't have any background on it, so I don't know if it's English, American, or any of that. But anyway, there's 11 different stitches in the alphabet. In that there's Algerian eye, rice, leviathan, fan, and then there's variations of these and other stitches, a variation of leviathan, marking stitch, eyelet stitch, half cross, and a V stitch. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. I just got pictures taken of it and set back out. So keep your fingers crossed that this class or maybe one of my other classes gets picked to teach at EGA National. That's always been my goal. I've taught at regionals, local chapters, a lot of those, but I would love to teach at EGA National. It is the 1st of March, and again, my birthday, because, so that means we're going to have a new stitch of the month. So this month, I decided to use one of the stitches from the Spool of Stitches because I just taught it, and it's a fun stitch. It's called Ribbon Cross, and it's not too complicated. It looks like it, but it's really not. It's a lot of fun. I just stitched it on my version. This is my version of the stitch of the month. Again, I had this big long scrap of fabric. So here's 2022, 23, 24, and now I'm starting 2025. You do not have to do one on this, but if you join the Stitch of the Month Facebook group, this will be available as a PDF. And then this is the chart that shows how I'm stitching it and the colors I used. I'm working mine. This is 28 count cream linen, and I am using sulky thread because I love sulky thread. You can use whatever threads or colors that you want. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you in the PowerPoint. So if you ever take a class from me, this is how I teach. I show in the PowerPoint, then I demonstrate, and then you can go off and practice it. So hold on and let me get this set up. Okay, I am back. So this is the diagram that's will be on the PDF. So this stitch is worked over an area 4 threads high and 4 threads wide. So you're going to make a big cross stitch over 4 threads. That's steps 1, 2, 3, 4, just a big cross stitch. Then you're going to come up right in the middle between 1 and 4 and do a horizontal stitch all the way across the 4 linen threads. So that's step 5, 6. Then you're going to come up at 7, which is 1 thread above 5, and go down at 8, which is 1 thread above 6. Then you're going to come up at 9, which is 1 thread below 5, and go down at 10, which is 1 thread below 6. So you're going to have 3 horizontal stitches all the way across the stitch. Then you're going to come up at 11, which shares a hole with step 1, and you're going to go down at 12, which shares a hole with step 4. So that's your first stitch. Now you're not going to do the vertical on the other side until you work your next stitch. So you're going to come up at 13 to work your next stitch, and that shares a hole with step 3. And again, you're going to make the big cross stitch over 4 threads. Then you're going to do your 3 horizontal stitches. Then you're going to come over and do step 23, 24, which is your vertical stitch in between the 2 stitches. So you just continue like that across the row. And then when you get to the end of the row and you've got all your stitches in, you can do your last vertical stitch on the right side. So I am going to change over and I will demonstrate this stitch for you. Okay, so here we are. Find my place, there we are. Okay, so I am going to work this stitch just like it's diagrammed. I get my diagram so I make sure I'm doing it right. Yes, I still look at diagrams. Usually once I get the first stitch in, I'm okay. So I am coming up at 1, which will be on the left edge of your fabric. And I'm going to count over 4 threads and up 4 threads and go down at 2. So this is just a big cross stitch over 4 threads. So that's 1, 2, and then this is 3, 4. Now we're going to work the 3 vertical stitches, and you're going to want to start just like it's numbered in the diagram with the center stitch. If you don't, it may slip if you try and start with the uppermost stitch. So just come down 2 threads and come up at 5 and go down at 6. So you've got your vertical stitch. Then I'm going to come up 1 step above 5. So that's 7, 8, and then 1 thread below 5. Whoops. So that is 9, 10. Now I'm going to work my vertical stitch on the side. That's 11, 12. That is 1 stitch. So now I'm going to start the next stitch and it's going to share holes. So this is step 13, 14, and this is 15, 16, and now I'm going to do my 3 horizontal stitches, which on the diagram is 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and then step 23, 24 is going to be in between these 2 stitches. Now you can see why you have to do this one last, because you're coming up into all of these holes and you don't want to do that if there's a long stitch over top of it. So say I've gotten all the way to the end. Now I'm just going to work my vertical stitch here to end the row. So that is the ribbon cross. It's a fun stitch. It's really pretty when it's done. Let me pull up mine here so you can see it better. You can see that very good, but it's a pretty stitch. Zoom in. See if I can get it to focus a little bit. No, but there you go. It's very pretty. So let me pause this here and change back to full screen for me. Okay, so that is it for FlossTube number 76. Oh my goodness. Thank you again. I always appreciate it. I know I say this a lot, but I really do appreciate it. I've had a couple people when I was at the retreat that came up and said, "Oh, I watch your videos." So that was fun. You know, it's like, wow, there's actually people out there that show my videos. And I did have some people, one woman, Bev Egan, she brought she had stitched the Star Spangled Sampler and she had that done. So she brought that for show and tell. So that was a lot of fun. And then she also finished while she was there the whole 5 days. But she was pretty much done after the first couple of days, but she actually finished the Spool of Stitches. So that was fun. So I got pictures of her with the Spool of Stitches, pictures of her with the Star Spangled Sampler, and then picture with everybody in the class. So it was a lot of fun. I am looking forward to teaching this again in a couple of weeks. I will actually be teaching and out of town for the 14th and 15th of March. So I'm not sure if I will be, I might do the video early and have it post on the 15th, or I may just wait till I get back. It just depends on everything that happens because, life gets away from me a lot of times. So anyway, thank you again, and I will see you again sometime around the 15th of March. Thanks for watching, and happy birthday to me.